better than 500,000 people in attendance. That was on a Friday afternoon when Rabbi Shach died. Rav Menachem Shach was the Rosh Yeshiva of a yeshiva in Bnei Brak and Ponevezh, and he died about 20, I would guess 22 years or so ago. And I was in attendance. It was a Friday afternoon, Erev Shabbos. It was in the summer, and and we heard about it. Maybe he died that night before. And can you imagine rallying 600,000 people inside of a few hours with all the buses and all the arrangements and everything? And it was, stringing up, speaker system outside in the street so everybody could hear it. It was really, it's really an incredible thing. I noticed, by the way, in the news recently, it unfortunately made some of the news, that there was a significant funeral or two in Israel that were attended by seemingly large crowds. And I thought about it as I was looking at the numbers, and they estimated maybe 10,000 people. Now, obviously, in a time of a corona pandemic, seeing 10,000 people together is almost like, it just shakes you. You can't. It's been so long since we've had that, and it's kind of weird. But the fact that there was only 10,000 people instead of 500,000 people at that funeral is really, frankly, shocking to me. Some people could be shocked at how many. I was shocked at how few. Not to say that there aren't safety precautions that need to be taken, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I saw many pictures. Most people were wearing masks as well, and maybe many of those that weren't wearing masks, I would suspect all probably had corona already. But interestingly, 10,000 people is a tiny number for that kind of for a funeral of a 99-year-old Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi David Soloveitchik. That's a tiny fraction of the people that would have been at that funeral in a normal year. So anyway, I just wanted to we want to wish our condolences to the family of Rabbi Neuberger and to all those who mourn him, students and friends alike, and we wish that his soul should have an aliyah in heaven. That's as we say. Thanks again for joining us. I'm looking forward in just a few more minutes. I'm going to introduce our special guest. We're delighted to have Blake Seaton joining us on the show. So I'm looking forward to that in a few minutes. I also want to remind everyone, Rosh Chodesh Adar is Friday and Shabbos. It's very exciting. And we're going to be starting on tomorrow with some classes, which I mentioned before. Just wanted to give everyone a heads up. There is a special link to join the Clean Speech Colorado classes. If you want to attend and didn't get the link from me yet, please do. The other link that I was expecting to use is being used by someone else. Too many classes, too few Zoom links. So just we'll give you that if you let me know, be in touch, email or text or anything else, and I will make sure and get you the right link because we're happy to have you participate. Also. On my mind, I thought I was mentioned just briefly as well that I was this morning on my favorite radio talk show host program, Ross Kaminsky. So Ross had me on, as has done every month now. So we got a special radio show once a month called Ross and Rabbi. So he greets me on the show with music from, I think it's from Mel Brooks' Spaceballs. It was Jews in Space. It was a whole Jews in Space theme song for the Jew space laser topic, which we were talking about yesterday. So funny. It reminded me a little bit of one of my favorite Muppets shtick. I grew up on the Muppets, watching. I don't know if you remember the Muppets. It was a Don what's his name? Don Henderson or something? Henley? I forget what his name is. The Muppeteer, the ultimate Muppeteer. So they used to have a skit or a shtick that was pigs in space. If you can remember that one. So this was Jews in space. But there you have it. Someone else sent me yesterday a meme after we had talked about it of two Jews with their space laser. It was Leonard Nimoy and what's his name? Kirk. Captain Kirk was what's the guy's name? Mark Shatner, William Shatner. I was spacing his name. So, two Jewish Star Trekkers and their space laser. So if you're not familiar, watch yesterday's show, and we talked about the space laser conspiracy theory that hopefully we don't have to talk about anymore. But that was it was quite a cute one. All right, listen, I've got him here, and I'm going to put my mask on, even though he already had corona and he's got antibodies. He's going to join me. Come on over here, Blake. Thanks. Join us in the studio, and really kind of fun. Here we are. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rabbi.
This is really, it's great fun. You probably don't get to be on a live TV show every day.
I would say it's pretty rare. Yeah. This happens, but no, it's nice. It was such a fun surprise, and
it's fun.
Excited to be part of the show.
So I was very delighted when Rabbi Wasserman said, "Guess who's moved back to town?" Blake. Now I'm gonna introduce you to some of our viewers as one of our first Sunday school students. Is that right?
Yeah. I think it was like one of the first classes.
When,
the Sunday experience was initially getting started.
Right. What year would that have been? Would have been
that's a good question.
Let's see. Okay, so how old are you now?
So right now 24.
24, and you probably started when you were 8, 10?
Yeah,
10 maybe?
Probably 10.
Yeah, okay. So that's a good ways ago.
Yeah,
that's about right, because that'll be the first year, right? I think the school's about that old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
That is incredible.
Huh.
So for us, you're like a longitudinal study of Sunday school success. So that's the first thing I want to hear about. Tell me, like, when you've come, you've gone, you've come back. Could you comment again? This is not. I'm not paying him anything, so this is not a paid. This is the real thing. I haven't even asked him the question yet. But did you have value from your Sunday school, Jewish experience, Sunday school education?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, easy answer, yes. I think one of the reasons I initially started at the Sunday experience is, my previous Jewish education. I felt like,
don't say where that was. We won't mention where that was. Right.
But I, just didn't necessarily feel as connected or feel like I was getting as much value out of, being there and spending my time there. And so, coming to the Sunday experience, I was really able to kind of engage a little more, look at things from like a very like everyday perspective. Like, how does Judaism just take a role in everyday life, along with like the basics of, learning my alphabet and being able to speak Hebrew and everything like that. And so, I've kind of everything I've learned really in those years there have been applicable like throughout life, whether in a formal like academic setting or just, in a social setting. And it's been really amazing. And a lot of the people I actually, was in that class with, I keep in touch with and still close with. So
that's also really nice.
Yeah, it creates like a little community amongst your cohort. So that's been great.
We I once saw this Jewish website recently. It was talking about this sort of like, I think they coined their own terms like Jew-embarrassment or something like that. like when you're somewhere with a bunch of other Jews and they mention something, you're like, what's that? Like I should have known that, right? I'm Jewish. I think I'm Jewish, but I never heard of that. But hopefully we spared you from a lot of Jew-embarrassment, and that didn't happen too frequently. And
no, definitely, especially I still occasionally get some Jew embarrassment, but
okay.
But no, I think it has been lessened significantly due to my time there.
Yeah. The other thing I know that Rabbi Wasserman always said, and it was always our goal that you could go in and out of any kind of a Jewish synagogue and be comfortable, wherever you were at college, you should go, be able to have a comfortable Jewish experience and know what to do when you get there. I'm in a synagogue and I'm not a stranger here. You know, that was a hope at least.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still feel that today. I feel like I could walk into any Jewish community, knowing them, whatever, spectrum or, whatever it may be, and, feel comfortable and feel connected in some way. So good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, following in your footsteps, we've got, the school continue to grow and build. There are lots of classes, and you have a good. You've been a real front runner from something hopefully very good.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to be the guinea pig.
Yeah,
I'm glad it worked out.
Not only Blake, but his sister Brooke afterwards, and she was in the first bat mitzvah group that we ever had with Eve Levy. We were just kibitzing about that.
Yeah.
If for those of you who are real experts in the annals of Jewish experience history, you remember some of our wonderful previous staff, Rabbi Gotti and Eve Levy, and she started that bat mitzvah program. She was extremely close with your mom, probably still is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it was for them that bat mitzvah program really took life. Was for her grade, I think.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I know she still keeps in touch with a lot of that
yeah,
cohort as well. So
yeah. It's a cool
yeah.
thing.
No,
So
absolutely.
what brought you? You were away. You went to school. You worked in, I think, even Manhattan for a bit. Weren't you in
DC.
DC? Okay, sorry, DC. And then you moved back.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
was that? During the pandemic?
Yeah. So I moved back in September. So it
Okay.
was kind of mid pandemic. Um, Originally it was going to be only like a temporary move back until kind of things get out, and one thing led to another, and job opportunity.
Uh
I
huh.
enjoyed being home and close to family, and I love Denver. So I
Yeah.
it kind of made me miss it so much that I decided to move back here.
Once you're back, you stayed a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to leave.
Colorado, we're very fortunate that Colorado is one of those places where kids, go and actually come back. They want to come back. It's
Absolutely.
not like, I think there's a lot of attrition in some Jewish communities. Either
Mhm.
they all go off to the city or whatever. But Colorado is still a destination.
Yeah, something about it, and I knew I wanted to come back eventually, but
Yeah,
happened to be earlier than expected, and
yeah, yeah.
I'm glad
What's
I did.
what's the job offer that you got?
It's so similar to what I was doing in DC. It's like government consulting, so
Hmm.
helping a few
Wow.
national security clients out here in Denver.
I've got a couple
With
things
their
I want you
stuff.
to tell the government.
Yeah,
Just if
I'll
you're
take
a
notes.
government
Yeah, let me
consultant, yeah,
know.
I've got a bunch I want to tell them.
That's
Uh,
my job. I'll relay the message.
please do. Yeah, yeah.
Of
Uh,
course.
is it? Did you say security? Or yeah, like the in
Yes.
security?
Well, so it's broad federal, but my focus is a little more on like national security
Wow,
agencies, and
wow,
especially with the move of Space Force out here, doing a lot of work over there. So,
interesting.
yeah, just helping.
Is it top secret stuff, or can you talk about?
I don't touch anything top secret. I'm
Okay.
more of a, yeah, just kind of the business side of things. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, so far it's been interesting.
Has the change in administration affected anything? Did you have to renew stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people we work with are career people. They've worked there for years. But I'm sure we'll start to see trickles down as there's the administration shifts and priorities and whatnot. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
The the it must make your parents really happy to have you back here.
I think so.
Think so?
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you see them? Actually, maybe I'm assuming that you go see them during the pandemic.
No, I do see them. Luckily, my mom got vaccinated because she's volunteers at a
Oh wow.
hospital, and so feel
Well,
a little more
that's nice.
comfortable there. And
Okay.
um,
And you already actually
I
did.
was sick, so
You got COVID and
yeah,
been there, done that, huh?
exactly. So
Okay.
I
All
felt a
right.
little more comfortable, seeing them. And
Yeah.
when I initially moved back, I was living with them a bit too, so it was nice of them to open up their house and let me
That's nice.
crash for a bit. So
I
yeah,
did. While I mentioned them, I have to give them a big shout out. Your parents have been long-term wonderful friends, both of ours personally and of the Jewish experience. Your father was on the board, and he was actually the chair of the finance committee. He's a competent accountant and major supporters and force for the Jewish experience. Mom and dad both. They really are great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say I'm
If
a
they're
fan.
watching, I just want to give them, by the way, you guys Tracy and Mike, you guys are wonderful. And we got so much, we're having so much nachas. One of the words we learned on the show a few weeks ago is nachas.
Yeah,
Nachas one of the pleasures that you have at someone else's success,
yeah.
So here your parents hopefully are watching the show and having nachas, and your teachers, we have a whole bunch of Jewish experience educators who
Mhm.
also could, say, yeah, that was my student. I remember him when he was only this big,
Yeah,
and look how he's turned out.
yeah, still that big. But yeah, no, it's been
Now
great.
you're advising, government about international security, national
Yeah,
security. And that sounds very.
trying to, yeah.
Is it an interesting job?
Yeah, no, it's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Every day, you learn something new, and yeah, I mean, it's what I was doing for a few years now, but it's also nice to see. It's definitely a different culture, I think, here than in terms of like DC.
Okay.
It's a little more laid back and more of a Colorado vibe than
Yeah.
the suits and everything at headquarters in DC. So it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, see, I get a lot of I don't know, criticism or comment that fact that I'm like, even during
Yeah,
working from home, I still got my tie on.
totally.
One time it was like a very rare occurrence. I wasn't wearing a tie, and I got on Zoom with some colleagues, and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on? He doesn't have his tie on," you know.
I
And
would panic if,
what
yeah, if
you
you
didn't
saw
see me
you
in my
without a
tie?
tie. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to make you panic, you know.
Thank you.
Some folks have seen me at the Dead Sea, and I do take my tie off at the Dead Sea, but that's
That's
only for
good.
a few minutes, you know, and that's only when when the water gets too deep.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Hold
know,
it up.
otherwise not so much. But here, speaking of which, look at that, the green screen tie. You know what? That's kind of funny, huh?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, you know, the whole lake thing. Have you been able to get out in Colorado, like hiking and skiing and
Yeah,
taking?
trying to take advantage of skiing as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so nice. Trying to remember as much as I can of how to ski and hike.
Did you ski on the East Coast when you were there?
I've never skied on the East Coast, which I'm really glad I didn't, but I've
That's
just
so
heard
funny.
horror stories and I just never got the chance to.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
glad to take advantage of it being back out here.
That is the funniest thing. See, I grew up skiing in the East Coast.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
And then, when I was able to come over here and like really do the real thing, I never looked back. Who would ever ski on the?
Right, you can't touch it.
I
Yeah.
actually also, and I don't know. I think the skiing in Israel, it could be it's not bad, but I was very nervous that I would go to Israel and I would go to the one big ski resort in the Hermon in the north, and I would be like, oh, this is terrible, and I don't want to have a negative thought about Israel, the land,
Right.
the Holy Land, So I just didn't ski. But my son Shia, you maybe
Mhm.
remember him.
Yeah.
He sent me some. He went skiing and he sent me some pictures and didn't look bad.
I've
Did
heard
not
it's
look
not bad.
didn't
I've heard
look
it's better
bad.
than some East Coast places
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
that I bet you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I may not be able to touch Colorado, but it was
It's hard to. Yeah. Nothing does.
that's great.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell us about some about our other student? What's your sister Brooke, another student of the Sun Experience? What's she doing these days?
Yeah. So she's a senior at University of Michigan.
Wow.
She's wrapping up her final semester, and so it's been definitely strange, I think, for her to take all her classes online, and
Online,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
graduation's online.
Ay.
But she's moving to California afterwards, working for Google.
Is she
Really,
really?
yeah, exciting stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
so got a lot of good things ahead of her for,
Okay,
yeah, from her.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, definitely you're gonna send our regards.
absolutely. Hopefully
Working
she's
for Google.
watching.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
gonna get some national security. We have Insider and then Insider now, and then Google as well.
Right, right, exactly. See what's going on.
Okay, so tell me more about this secure national security job. If you said it's not top secret, I really am quite interested. I have another good friend in the neighborhood who does some cyber security, and it is top secret. Like I know he can't tell me what he does, and it's pretty scary, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
you're not doing that. You're not doing that kind of stuff.
No, I mean we our goal is to really support the people who do that sort of stuff, like
Oh,
who are
uh-huh.
really like in the weeds and are actually like making decisions at a policy level. Our goal is to support them in any way needed and help them stay organized and be
Hmm.
structured in such a way that makes them successful in what
Okay.
they do. So
Are they addressing? Are they addressing terrorism particularly, or what kind of security concerns is it? I live in Colorado. Uh, Enemies are nowhere near. I'm assuming. So like, what
yeah,
do I have to
that's the
worry about?
hope. Yeah, I mean it's you know anything under the sun. I mean, you just got
Really?
to be ready for anything and
Wow.
everything. And I think especially with the pandemic, that's just a whole new facet that now got to focus
I
on
guess
and
so.
be careful of. Yeah.
So I saw there was some interesting news about one of the things that the previous administration had done was it seems to forbid the Chinese government from investing in America's electrical grid. And
Yeah.
then and that was one of the first things in his busy early presidential work in his new administration. Biden repealed that, thereby allowing them to again resume investing in our national electrical grid. And I didn't know the first thing about that until I saw that he changed it. But do you have it?
Yeah.
Are you aware? Were you aware of that?
I,
Or
I was aware they changed it, and I saw that they're revising a bunch of positions towards Chinese investment and you know it's like TikTok, for example, things like that. So keeping a close eye on it. But
wow.
yeah,
And so in the policy, security policies arena, is TikTok still on the table? Still worried about that?
I'm not like as hands-on with like that stuff. So like I don't
Gotcha.
necessarily know,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure there's some risk involved, and I think they're reviewing it closely. But
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they'll find.
Yeah, yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
we got TikTok in the office. My colleague Danny is like the TikTok
Oh,
rabbi.
really?
Oh
Nice.
yeah, he got his late. You know, he and Sarah did a Shabbos tomato dip recipe TikTok
Oh,
video
no
that
way.
was seen
Huh.
like I don't know tens of thousands of times. So I have Russian security concerns now. Oh, Chinese. Sorry, Chinese. This is worrisome.
Well, yeah, you know, they makes their tomato sauce. You know, it's
Yeah, exactly. The recipe has
so
gone
dangerous.
overseas. Who knows what that's going to mean for us?
Exactly.
Yeah, we have to
Gotta be
worry about these
careful.
things.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But you're more the business side of things. What I'm hearing?
Correct. Yeah.
Was that
So
your degree? Was it a business degree?
So I studied. It's called human and organizational development. So business esque. It's more like organizational psychology and
Wow,
understanding how like companies and organizations are structured.
wow, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. No, it's interesting stuff, and I'm glad I'm able to apply it somewhere, at least to some extent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
You are using your degree expertise in your professional life. That's pretty
I like
special.
to think so.
Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
it always differs to some extent.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I was an English major, so
Oh, nice. Use it every
I
day.
speak words every day without fail.
Totally.
And I even write some emails.
Yeah,
So I feel like I'm using my getting my money's worth.
that's excellent.
So
That's good to
I'm
hear.
sure your parents are feeling a lot of a satisfaction that you still
Yeah,
using your college degree.
yeah. I'm sure they're
More
just.
meaningful than I am, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think words are pretty meaningful. English
Yeah,
is pretty meaningful,
yeah,
but
yeah.
a little different.
All right, words are good.
Yeah.
And so if I were gonna call up some, I'm not gonna do it now, but don't worry. But if I brought some Hebrew up on the screen, you think you could still read it pretty much?
Yeah, I actually took some Hebrew in college.
Nice.
Yeah, I took a
Wow.
few semesters of Hebrew, and I was
Nice.
definitely able to. I didn't have to start from ground zero. I definitely was
Phenomenal.
able to do it, and
Okay.
I would still say it's pretty. It could use a lot of work still, but
That's all right. Listen,
it's not zero.
I am glad to hear that. I took like 7 years of French,
Yeah,
and then I went to France, and I could not speak a word of it. Like I was scratching my head. Like 7 years, where did it all go?
brutal.
And
Yeah,
after over time, after just a couple of months, I became fluent in French because of all that background. So if you have
gotcha.
the opportunity to, when you're plunging in, you're that all that
Totally.
Hebrew effort, all of those hours of Sunday school are going to come rushing back,
Yeah,
and it's going to be good.
that's the hope. Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you're still
put
sticking
it to
with it,
use. Yeah.
and now that you're back around, we want to have you back around the office more.
Yeah,
That's really
no,
neat.
I'd love to come by. Yeah, absolutely. It's
All right.
nice seeing everyone right
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, we could get you in. We could even get you. I meant to bring you over to the studio because it's nice to have you sitting out in the in the fresh
Out on a
air.
block.
But but being out in the studio, this is really this is where the action is.
This is nice.
Back of the studio.
All
All
right.
right. Well, Blake, this is where we end the show.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us,
Yeah,
sharing a
thank you
little
for
bit
having me.
of your of your time and your charm. You're very I hope you picked that up at Sunday school too. Very
That's where I
charming,
learned it.
fun
Yeah.
young man. Good. It's good to have you on the show.
I appreciate it. Well, thanks for having me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more as we go forward here.
You know what? I hope anybody else that's paying special attention because we have Blake on the show. So check us out Monday through Thursday at 5 for 30 minutes here live at 5. You can join us on Zoom, Facebook Live, or now our YouTube channel. Easy to find us, and we will be here tomorrow. I always sign off. I wish everybody. We wish you a healthy day and a holy day, and we'll see you tomorrow, God willing, here on Live 5.
Excellent.
Okay.